Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Digital Jamaica Podcast. I'm your host, Kadia Francis. Today's episode is a vlogcast, so there's a video version available on our YouTube channel, the Digital Jamaica Vlogcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. On today's show, we will be talking to Tanya McHorgh. She is a Jamaican digital entrepreneur extraordinaire. She's a website builder, a blogger, a virtual assistant, and she has an online store. She's completely crushing the digital scene, and we're so happy to have her on our show today. Let's get into it. Hi, Tanya. You found me. Hi guys, my name is Kadia Francis for the Digital Jamaica Vlogcast, and today I'll be talking to Miss Tanya McHorgh. Is it McHorgh? Is that how it's pronounced?
McHorgh.
McHorgh. Is McHorgh?
McHorgh.
You know, for the entire time I've been telling you
McHorgh.
McHorgh. McHorgh.
Yes.
About a year ago, I reached out to her online via email because I was thinking about doing the virtual assistant thing, and when I googled virtual assistant Jamaica, your name was the first name that popped up. So she's on Google, girl. And I reached out to her, and you were gracious enough to respond. And you gave me some advice, and you gave me some tips. And I've kind of been obsessed with her ever since then. She's one of my favorite Instagram people. I'm all over Instagram, you know, right? So I wanted to talk to her, and again, she's gracious enough to talk to me. So here we are. And we're going to walk, and we're going to talk about you and what you do. And then you're going to give us some advice.
Alright.
And then you're going to tell us about the apps that you use, and just chat.
Okay. Alright.
Ready?
Let's do this.
Let's go! So, what the hell is virtual assistant anyway?
Alright, so basically what it is like being a secretary, an online secretary. So you're doing things like data entry, social media, transcription, and it will vary depending on the person who hires you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's an online secretary.
Basically an online secretary, yeah.
How does it work though? How do you get clients? How do you offer the services to the clients online?
Alright, well, there are different ways to do it. You could sign up on a freelancing site. There are a few of them, like for example Fiverr.com, there is Upwork.com, and a few others like Freelance, and a whole lot of them. I don't remember all the names, but Fiverr and Upwork is the ones that I talk about the most because those are the ones that I have experience with.
Right.
Or you could just decide to set up your own personal website and just offer your services there. Because
you do have a website, and I like your website. Because I'm setting up a website for myself. I was like, when I want like an idea, I usually go to somebody that I think knows what they're doing. So I'm always on your website looking at how you set up your website. I was like, okay, I like this and I like that, and I'm going to steal it. I'm just saying it from now. I'm stealing some stuff from your website. Right. So I didn't really venture far into the virtual assistant thing because I didn't know what I was doing, to be quite honest with you. And I think a lot of people locally don't know what it is, and I think it's because they don't understand remote working. Right. So explain to persons what remote working is and why you think it can benefit them.
Alright, so I think, yeah, as you said, a lot of persons don't understand this concept of remote working, but it's very simple. It's just you working in exchange for money. So it's just like working in an office. It's just that you're working remotely. So you need an internet connection. You need the basic things are the internet connection and a laptop, and just basic knowledge of how to utilize the computer and do specific tasks. So for example, a client may hire me to do some research on some schools in Jamaica. So I would use Google to find information on maybe the names of the schools, the location, the telephone number, maybe an email address, and I'm just putting that in an Excel sheet, and then I'll deliver it to the client. Now sites like Fiverr allow you to do this more, what can I say, safely, because they have a escrow system in place. So what happens is the client pays Fiverr holds on to the money, you do the work. Once you finish the work, deliver the work, and the client is satisfied with the work, the money is released to you. So that it's not that the person is going to run away with your money, because Fiverr is the middleman holding the money, making sure everything works and runs smoothly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is set and shaky. So make it come over here. Yeah, I think you can just stay right here. Yeah. So my experience with Fiverr was really trash. Because the thing is, it takes a while for you to build up to the point where you get quality work that pays well. So what happened was I was doing 5 articles, one including a product review of 10 products for $5 per article, which is kind of ridiculous because it's time consuming. So how does one build up their profile on platforms like that to get quality work that kind of pays decent?
Alright, the thing about Fiverr and the rest of the sites, the problem with it is, and I've actually experienced it myself too. The thing about it too, when I originally started out, that was way back like 5 years ago. So there wasn't much competition then. And of course, when I started out, I had to start off small. So yes, it was just $5, but you would do that to build up your reviews. And then once you get a few reviews under your belt, then you can always increase. And then you would have your repeat clients coming back where you can always charge them and, you know, charge them more. So the key to working online, because nobody knows who you are, I would say you start off small, where you have to put in a lot of work so it's not just like a regular business. Starting a business, you're not really trying to make a profit, but you're just trying to break even then and get your name out there, put your foot out there, and then you start to build up yourself. You can always start to charge more once you have reviews, because when you want to charge more, they're gonna be like, but you don't have no reviews under your belt though, you want to charge $1 million, right? So you need some reviews under your belt first before you can always charge more. And that also goes to like if you want to be a personal brand or anything like that.
Okay, so how do you find local persons? So what has been the response from the local people?
Well, you know, when I initially started out, I had no idea this is where I was going to go with it. So I was just trying to make money to pay my bills. Until I realized that it was working for me. Like after a year, the first year, the second year, the third year, I realized that freelancing is really, you know, a very rewarding one. Because I used to work 7 to 11 in a call center, and it wasn't so rewarding at all, because at the end of the day when I got laid off, I had nothing to show really and truly. So when I started working on Fiverr and Upwork and I realized some money really was coming in, I was like, no, this can definitely be something that I can really do. I mean, a lot of persons were doing it, so I had nobody to really look at for, you know, inspiration or as an example. So I really had to like weigh it myself. But as I grew, and with the clients that come along, they will tell you, you know, well, maybe you should learn how to, and it was a client that actually got me into the website building, plus my friends were doing website building, and so that became a thing. I originally was just a virtual assistant and a transcriber, but the skills started to build, and you know, the more you get into it, the more you want to learn more, and the more you want to branch off and do other things. What was I saying again? I lost my trail of thought.
We were talking about the local response.
Okay, the local response. So I thought my clients were always just gonna come from
foreign.
Until I started to say, but if I want other clients, I kind of have to talk about it myself. I don't like to talk about me as a freelancer most of the times. I said, no man, I have to stop the shyness, because I'm a very shy person. Like, I don't know how you get me to do this right now. But
because you're awesome.
Right now, you don't understand the nervousness. I said, no man, I kind of have to put myself out there, especially if I need to pay my bills, because I need to pay the bills. I cannot tell court, I don't have any money, or I'm too shy to pay, you know, to do the work. So I said, no man, I really have to put, you know, my foot out there. I have to really believe in myself, believe in my branding before anybody can believe in me. So I started to take it to the social media, and social media is really a powerful tool if you know how to use it.
Thank you. I've been telling y'all, it really is. Because what you basically did was you started branding yourself.
I started branding myself
online, and you saw what? You saw an increase in your client pickup after that.
Yep, a lot of them came through my Instagram. Instagram is probably the one that gets the most traffic, and that's where a lot of persons will slide in the DM and ask me about my services that I offer. So Instagram really works for me the most, and then I would say Facebook would come second.
Facebook kind of tanking a little bit when it comes to businesses because of the whole new algorithm thing. Yeah. It's not really. But you mentioned though that you started out with the virtual assisting and you started getting feedback from your clients, and they would give you some advice too about branching out into other areas. Yeah. And I know another area that you have branched out in is web development. Yeah. How? Did you know anything about coding?
I don't know about coding. I'm just really silly.
So how?
But I have friends that when I was doing my whole Fiverr stuff, the thing is, what I'd say to people when you start working online, you always have to watch the company. Even though, you know, parents always say, you know, watch your company you keep. You want to make sure you surround yourself with people who are trying to do what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we fed from each other, like ideas bounce off of each other. So people want to learn virtual assistant. I teach you that, but you can teach me about website building. So my friends used to, you know, teach me a few things, and I watch. It was like an exchange
information.
Yeah, friends just giving information to each other, and it's like they would be like, "No, Sue, that look like shit." If you ever see the first website that I did, you would laugh to scoring. But yeah, I had friends that would tell me the actual truth, like, "Shit, girl, I don't look good. Go again." And so, you know, I practice. I'm here, and I watch a lot of people. I watch a lot of people who do websites. And there's a lot of tutorial. You see, when people say they don't know how to do something, it bugs me because I know there's so much information out there, free information too.
Oh Jesus!
So don't tell me say you can't do something because you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself. You're not going to get it overnight. No, say you're going to fail, so you just have to go. Enough clients tell me so much about it. I look like shit still. But my answer, they never stop me.
It didn't stop you, right? I'm so glad you said what you just said, because it's like sometimes I feel like I'm beating my head against a wall, and I'm glad you said it, and I'm glad other people that I talk to say it, because they're no, it's not me alone. I'm not special in that regard. It is very easy in 2018 for you to get information.
True.
YouTube is free.
True.
I YouTube everything. Everything more often. But when I decided that I was going to do a podcast, you remember I reached out to you before about doing this, and then didn't, because I'm chicken shit.
Oh,
but then when I said I was going to do it, the very first place I went to was Google. Google is, for me, Google is God, because then Google know everything, and Google in everybody business, and Google know everything about everybody. Right. So I went to Google. That's how I found you. So I went to Google, and Google brought me to YouTube, and I just started watching videos. And even when I decided that I'm going to take on a fancy social media run strategist, that don't mean shit. I had to go to Google and find out what is the purpose of social media, what it is, was it, because people think that you just sign up and just put up some picture, and they don't understand that it's really marketing online, and there is a whole principle and philosophy behind marketing. Exactly. And then it has now transcended onto the digital space, and it has, and honestly, people think it's easier. It's actually a little bit more complicated, because now you're talking directly to people. You're communicating directly to somebody who can in instant time go or in instant time go, oh, may I call your number, you're not answering. So it's a little bit more difficult, and it's a little bit more harder to grasp. So what I did, YouTube, Google, because the information is out there, it is free.
It is there.
And another thing is, reach out to people like you. Reach out to people, and as you said, you were connecting with people who you guys have shared similar ambitions. They wanted to know this, and you wanted to know that, and you're like, let's exchange the information. Reach out to people that are already doing the thing, and if they're nice enough like you were, they will give you the advice. You didn't tell me, okay, this is what I did, number one, but you did go through enough so I could have, and then you told me where to go look for the rest of the information. So that's what I want people to do. Use your own initiative, be resourceful, and reach out to people. Don't try to reinvent wheels. It's unnecessary for you to do so. And jump on the digital platforms, not just to post some booty pics or some thirst trap pictures, but really to start branding yourself. And another thing I wanted to ask you, I am an advocate for teenage branding on social media.
And I've spoken to some people about it, and people are like, you really think teenagers should be using more social media? But I'm actually talking about responsible social media use in an effort to brand yourself from now.
So that's the way too.
What do you think about that?
That can work, you know. As you said, the whole thing about the teenagers though, they can they're very fragile. And once they have a good background, once they know the whole pros and cons and the dangers out there, and they have their head screwed on properly, I don't have no problem with them trying to brand themselves from early. It would definitely help them because a lot of it is social proof, and you know, post, like for example, some of the reasons why a client may decide that they want to go with me versus somebody else is they will see, like from about like 2 years ago, that I've been posting about websites. So they would see that I've been doing this for a while and not just right now.
Right.
You understand? So yeah, that's good. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Yeah. And I wanted to talk to you though, because you've branched off into other things, because I know you have a boutique.
Yes, I have an online store. That was actually my first business before freelancing. It took a backseat because it needs money to fund it, to buy the product.
So you actually run an e-commerce store online. How did you set that up? Because in the last episode I spoke to Damian Miller, who is a big advocate for e-commerce, and he actually has a WordPress plugin that would enable customers to buy directly from your site, and you don't have to go through the whole PayPal foolishness. So how did you set up your e-commerce platform?
Yeah, just the same way. So I have WordPress and I have the plugin called WooCommerce.
I guess that's not local.
Yeah, man, you can access it.
Okay, and it allows persons to buy directly from your site. And how you get paid for that?
So my own goes straight to my PayPal, just because I prefer for it to go to PayPal. But there are other ways to send it to your card. I'm not sure of the actual name for that, but I just send everything to my PayPal.
But how do you? I guess what I'm asking is, how do you collect the? Because I know with PayPal, you have to have a Bank of America account.
You have a bank, yeah.
And then you go through this hell of a long ass rigmarole with NCD or whichever local bank you have to try to get your money here, or they can send you a check with it 30 days clear. How you?
Yeah, no man. You have some. Well, I have people overseas that already, you know, in the system, so I'll be able to send it to them and I'll get it. But you have persons offering the services out here now. Really? Yeah, where you can send it to their PayPal and they will give you the cash in your I don't remember the name, but I can tell you it's on my Instagram.
Okay, I'm gonna link it because I didn't know that. You see, and that's what I love about Jamaican people. They're so innovative. Yep. Somebody saw a need, and somebody decided they're going to provide the service. I actually didn't even know that was a thing, because that could be extremely beneficial, because it's very cost negligent. That's not a thing. That's not a word. It's not cost friendly.
Yes. To do it the other way around.
Try the other way around. So what is some of the advice? What is like your best advice that you could give to, because this is the thing, I started off really in earnest with a huge kick up the ass when I got fired from my job. And you started off when you got laid off. So these are trained people.
Yes.
It seems like we only discovered the digital platform where we don't have any other choice.
Yeah, so we don't have no other choice.
And we got bills to pay.
Right.
But say again, you're a teen or you're an entrepreneurial minded person, and you're thinking, okay, I want to explore this space and I want to start something. As somebody who's been doing this for a long time, what is your best advice to them?
Alright, so I guess the best advice would be to stay woke. Stay woke. Don't wait until a situation like ours occur where you have no other choice but to. It would be best to, if you're already in a job, I've always said this, use your 9 to 5 to build your hustle until your hustle can stand firm and you can leave that 9 to 5. Find out what it is that you want to do in life. Find out what your passion is and pursue that. I don't think, this is just me saying, I know persons have their 9 to 5 and it's doing well for them, but I always say try to build your own thing. If you're going to be freelancing on any of the, and I'm just randomly saying stuff, if you're going to be freelancing on, let's say, Fiverr on Upwork, don't just rely on Fiverr on Upwork.
Right.
Try to branch off and start your own thing and build your own brand. Build your brand, so your brand can take you really far.
Right.
Save, invest, and have a plan.
When you say build a brand, what would that look like though?
It depends on what it is that you're interested in or where you're trying to go, or what it is that you're passionate about. Like for example, I'm building my personal brand, and then I'll use that personal brand to promote all my other businesses.
Right.
So for example, when I started out on Fiverr, I just chose a random name, but when I was addressing my customers, I always, you know, promoted my first name, last name.
Right.
Because I knew in the future I was going to build a personal brand.
Right. Right. So you don't start out with Pinky 876.
Professional.
Yeah,
Think long
you
term.
have to. So you have to think long term. You have to start with a plan.
Yes.
You have to invest.
Yes.
You have to save.
Yes.
And you don't have to chuck into it all at once.
No.
You can have 1 foot in the 9 to 5 and 1 foot in the
right. Because at one
build.
point I went back to a 9 to 5 because it was I wanted more and the bills were more.
Right.
And I needed more. And it's don't be afraid to say you want more. Ask for help. It's another thing I would say.
Right.
So I went back to the 9 to 5, but I knew I was going to stay long. Hell no, because I wanted the freedom. So I slaved those 3 years that I had in that 9 to 5, and I said I was going to make nobody fire me again. I was going to definitely take as much as I could in terms of information from the person that I was working with, and just branch off, and here I am.
So, and that's the other thing too, because persons think, oh well, I'm not an entrepreneur, and even when it's not working out for them, they still stick to it. And you're going, it's actually okay to stop, take a break, go back to a 9 to 5, build up again, and come again. You're going to fail. It's not. Believe me, if you have one straight successful run, you one lucky person, because that's not how it is for most people, right? So sometimes, and it's really about the reality of your current situation. You have to take into account your situation. Don't be a starving entrepreneur. That's not cute.
No, that don't cute.
That's not cute.
I always say live your truth.
Right. So you can go back to a 9 to 5. You can come again. You can always start over. Don't feel that you failed, so that's the end of that. If it is that your intention is to command your own time and do your own thing and be able to schedule your own business, make that be what motivates you. Is that proper English? I'm struggling with my English.
Boy, words. You should not ask me if I say words.
Let that motivate you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It sounds
better. Yeah. So let that motivate you.
Yeah.
So what are some of the? Not what are some of the? You see again my English. Your top 5 most used apps. Productivity apps. Do you even use apps?
Yes, I do. I can't live without my app. I can't live without my phone.
Right.
Wonderlist is my favorite app. That is for my to-do.
Right.
Put my things in my to-do list. Instagram, I cannot live without it. I don't know if it go down one day what I'm gonna do. But, Instagram, Canva, Latergram.
What is Latergram?
Latergram allows me to automatically schedule posts in my Instagram. So I have like 4 different pages, and to manage all of them all at once is crazy. So I use Latergram.
I'm dying over here with that. I did, because I use Buffer, but Buffer. Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! I'm sorry. You see that bird? Oh my God! Okay. Sorry, we went off on a nature thing. But I use Buffer, but Buffer for some reason is not connected to Instagram.
Ooh, Latergram is awesome.
So I didn't know about. You see, that's why I like talking to people who have sense on all they're doing. Because I didn't know about Latergram. I'm gonna go check that. I'm gonna go check it out, and I'm going to do a review, because every Monday I do an app of the week, because I'm obsessed with apps.
Oh, I
don't use most of them. I just like the fact that they're on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm just an app person.
Okay.
So I will download an app and I'll use it, and I'll be so enamored with it for like 5 minutes, and then I go on to the next app. What is that? App junkie? I'm an app junkie. I'm an app junkie. So I'm going to go check out later. In fact, as me done, I'm going to check out Latergram and do a recording and post it, because I haven't posted today. I'm really rubbish at scheduling.
Oh no, I need that to function in life, because I have to post.
I'm really bad at scheduling. I need to fix that, because this is not the first time somebody is talking to me about scheduling. Is this video dark? This is not the first time. You want to switch position and see if we can get a little bit lighter? How much minutes on? There. We're almost through. So I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go look at later.
Yes,
and so what are the other two? You have 2 more.
Hold on. Snapseed that I use for editing photos.
I can't figure out Snapseed to see.
I love Snapseed. I love it.
I went on YouTube and said them doing some things in Snapseed, and I'm going, because all I use it for is to change the filter.
I love Snapseed. Snapseed, there's a lot of features. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day.
You should.
Let me see if I can find one more app to give you.
I've seen them doing this really awesome.
Unfold is another app that I use. I use that for. It's not on this one. I use that for the Instagram stories, and I think I'll do a video on that one too.
What does that do?
So it gives a little. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe if I show you.
It's how much phone you have to phone now?
Oh. Yeah, I'm trying to have a business phone and a personal.
Oh, I see.
So, for example,
I would lose my phones. I just use one because
it allows you to do these little things for the stories and make it all cute and shit.
Oh, so it's like a story builder. You get different templates and stuff.
Right.
I use Canva. I did a video on Canva. Canva is my absolute go-to for everything. And then there's this other one called Designer.
I don't know that. I know I've heard of it, but I didn't get it.
It's a Canva.
I'm sticking with Canva. I like to stick with one thing.
One thing.
Yeah.
So once you find something and
it's good,
you work with it.
Leave it.
And that's that. That is it. Okay, so what is your morning routine? What do you do when you get up to get your day started?
I get up. And I'm going to tell you how it really goes. I get up and I'll check the phone to see what time it is.
Okay.
I don't set alarms anymore. I normally just get up like 6 or 6:30, and then I would pray, and then I have to feed the dog and the cat because they're annoying. I'm not going to stop crying and barking. And then I wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I go through. I play the stories out. I play my Instagram stories out, and then while I'm playing over there, so my two phone,
play them all?
I just click on the stories and then I just go through.
Your stories are just
people's stories. And if it sounds interesting, I might peep, and might not peep. But I go through the things that I need to get done for the day. I write them down in my wonder list.
Right.
And I organize it based on in terms of the order that I want to go. And then I just get started. I do Instagram first, and then I will check my emails after that, and then I will dive into work.
The work.
The work.
Okay. So interesting. I don't have a formal routine.
Sometimes it changes, but that's basically
like
the
that.
concept.
Apparently I suck at this. So I too am learning, because apparently I'm not very good at this.
You still get into the motion.
Yeah. I think, let me tell you what I think it is. I think it's because my aura come up. I think it's because my aura come up and I was thrust into this. That was like June, and I still haven't figured all my shit out.
It's gonna come
just
sometimes.
Yet. And then the more clients come on, is the more messy it gets.
Yes.
I probably shouldn't be saying this publicly.
But
I do get the work done. It's just that it takes me forever and I'm exhausted. And then because I don't have a routine, but I am so grateful that you came and that we spoke, and I learned a lot, and I'm going to go and Google a lot of what you said actually, because a lot of it I didn't know. So I learned and you learned, so that's a good thing. That's why I'm doing this. I want us to all learn.
Share the knowledge.
The learning, the info, whatever. Okay. So so thank you so much. So I don't have a tag Like, you know, everybody have a little tagline that they have, or so I asked my guests to give me a tag for each episode. So give me a tag. So it's Digital Jamaica Vlogcast something.
VA 101.
What 101?
VA, Virtual Assistant 101. I don't know.
That's not a tagline.
That's true. I don't know.
A tagline is like your jingle. Is like your jingle. Is that a jingle? Is it the jingle? No, that's not your jingle. Let me tell you.
Tagline relating to you or this?
Yeah, relating to the program. Okay, you know, some people have a sign-off thing that they say like, "Stay tuned" or "Stay digital." Stay digital was the first one, but it really sucked. So I've been asking people with more sense than me to give me a tagline at the end of each show. Do you have a tagline?
No, you know, it changes a lot. I don't know what it is right now. Because I tried to change something again.
We're in the same mode.
Boy, I don't want the pampas.
Okay, we're going to just go to the Stay Digital one this time.
Yeah, let's just Stay Digital.
Alright, so tell us where we can find you online.
Okay.
And your handles.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Google+, almost every social media that exists. Using my first name and last name, Tanya McHorgh. SUETANYAMCHORGH.
Okay, are you on YouTube?
I am on YouTube too. I have videos.
Oh my God, you were gonna leave and I didn't get to talk to you about your podcast.
Oh yes. Alright, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I do have a podcast, but I have been very negligent. I won't say negligent. It's just that I don't like to do my podcast by myself. I like to have guests, and sometimes my guests, they flake on me. And I think it's interesting when you have somebody else and not just me talking.
Right.
So that is the reason why the podcast isn't, you know, flourishing as it should. But it's normally on a Monday. What I've been doing though is like tutorials. So like I've done a video on Latergram the other day. I did one on WhatsApp business.
Oh, so there's a video on Latergram?
Yeah,
okay,
so you can check it out.
Content.
You can go check out the one for WhatsApp business. I have a, you know, WhatsApp have a WhatsApp business app. And there are other apps that I use. I try to do videos on them right
Where
now.
we can find those?
On my YouTube channel, you just type in Tanya McHorgh and you'll find me.
Okay.
And subscribe, like, and share.
So the podcast is on YouTube as well?
I have them on YouTube. Originally, I had it on SoundCloud, and I took it off, and I have them now on YouTube.
So you're actually doing like it's more like a similar to what I'm doing, a vlogcast.
It's more like a vlogcast,
right? Because the last one I saw, you were talking to an entertainer. I don't remember the name of that person. But you were talking to. Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. So who do you target as guests on your
Alright,
podcast?
so the podcast, so and a reason why I haven't promoted it much is because it's unlike the website where it's, you know, it's tailored to persons who are interested in business, freelancing, entrepreneurship, women in business.
What's that website?
TanyaMcHorgh.com. Always my first name and last name.
Okay.
The podcast is more, I wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed but still have a business sense. So I wanted it to be more like a vlog, because I think videos work better than audio. You can always listen to it if you want to, but if you wanted to actually see a video, you can for it. So I have them on YouTube. Because I just prefer the YouTube platform versus SoundCloud.
I'm afraid of YouTube.
I like YouTube.
I'm afraid of YouTube. Because originally when I started out doing this, I wanted to do it for IGTV. Because, you know, when they first rolled out, they were like, oh, you can go up to 60 minutes. Okay. And then recently they said, oh, only for verified accounts. Now, I don't know what that means, and I don't know how you get your account verified.
They're slowly verifying the accounts. Well, I don't see it a lot for, I guess it depends
local
on
person.
Yeah, I think it depends on the amount of followers that you have, but there's supposed to be a button that you send to them and ask them to verify you. Right,
so you can't do the 60-minute thing unless you have the blue check on your name, and but for everybody else it's like only 10 minutes. And I discovered that after I did my first episode, I was like, you suck ass, IGTV. I'm still gonna use it though. There's a lot.
The limitation.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do in 10 minutes. promotions or stuff like that. But then my dad was like, I don't like Instagram. I am not going on Facebook, and I'm not going on Twitter. So you need to put it somewhere where I can access it. Because I want to see what it is that you're out there telling people. So my father was like, you need to put it on YouTube so I can watch it. Thank you very much, because my father is like my biggest supporter.
You don't have to sign up to be on YouTube.
Exactly. So my father even sent me my own stuff and go, hey, check this out. I said, Daddy, this is my so I had to put it on YouTube, but I'm so afraid of YouTube platform. How do you get people to come to YouTube to watch your video?
Well, I use my social media to promote YouTube, as well as YouTube almost works like Instagram in a sense, where you use keywords and stuff. So let's say they're looking for virtual assistants. Most of the videos are on virtual assistants, so when you look for virtual assistants, hopefully you'll find
your name pop up. Okay, well, I don't have a choice now.
See?
To cater to my wider audience.
Come over to the YouTube side.
To cater to the wider audience. Whoop. No, that's fine. It's okay. Watch your face. It's okay. To cater to the wider audience, I don't have a choice but to go YouTube. But you know where the videos have done well too? On LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Do you use it frequently? Or?
I use it to share my blog posts and some of my videos.
No, I don't even remember where we stopped recording. I don't even know where we stopped recording. I think when the thing.
Oh,
we were talking
right.
About, we were talking about. So for some reason, stop recording. Don't you just hate when that happens? Now I feel foolish. We have to go do that all over again. So we were talking about LinkedIn.
Right.
I was like, I was upset with LinkedIn for a long time because they would view my stuff and they wouldn't like and comment on my stuff, and I was upset because I was like, if you like it, put a comment on it. That could be the tagline. Simple.
Yeah.
You see how that works?
That's the tagline.
If you like it, put a comment on it. Because people take time to create that kind of content.
Yeah, man. We will put in some work.
And even if you don't like it, you go, that's rubbish. Do you really want them to say
No,
that?
I don't want them to say that one.
If it's rubbish, just put emojis.
Yeah, so
even though I don't like the emojis part. What if it's rubbish, just put emojis?
Just put, don't say the word, just give us an emoji.
DM us. Send us.
Yeah, send us a DM.
Send us a private.
But don't, just like and share.
But it adds to your engagement.
Thank you.
And if you want to see digital and tech entrepreneurs take off, we need people. We need the feedback.
Yeah.
We need the comment. We need the likes. We need the sharing.
Yes.
We need you to help us get out there.
That's right.
Alright, so the amount of time we say we're done, but we're done now. Like done.
Done.
So thank you so much to Tanya for leaving your yard, leaving your business, for combining my business. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Until next time, guys, you take care.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Digital Jamaica Vlogcast. Links to resources will be in the description. You can listen to the Digital Jamaica Vlogcast on your favorite podcasting platform. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Digital Jamaica Vlogcast. Let's continue the conversation. Join us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Digital Jam Pod. See you there.